to about 70 miles an hour in only 3 seconds. That's pretty amazing. If you get a look at that cheetah's face, you'll see that the cheetah has black lines that go from their eyes to the corner of their mouth. Unlike other cats, cheetahs hunt during the day. You know how football players put the black marks on their cheeks to help reduce the glare of the sun? Well, that helps the cheetah reduce the glare of the sun as well.
Rhino over
there! We're looking at this side first.
Now, over on the left side, you guys have that round building there. Look past that round building into the grass. You have mom rhino standing up, very easy to spot. And then next to that little pile of rocks, you might have just saw the tail wag, is her baby. Mom and baby rhino. And he's going to sit up for you, so he should be a little easier to spot. Mom's name is Casey, baby's name is Coyote. They are southern white rhinos. Coyote turned 1 at the end of last month. When he was born, he was 125 pounds. He's now probably more like 1,300 pounds. And to put that into perspective for you, Mom is about 5,000 pounds. So he doesn't look very small anymore, but he still is a little guy at the moment. Down below us on the right, you have our flamboyance of flamingos. That's what a group of flamingos is called, a flamboyance. These flamingos are probably much lighter in coloration than you're expecting for a flamingo. That's because these are the greater flamingos. They come from salt marsh areas, and that lighter coloration helps them to blend into their surroundings better. Now, if any of them stretch their wings out for you, you'll see they do actually have that bright coral color that you're used to. And that coloration on all flamingos comes from the food that they eat, which is algae and crustaceans. Now, anytime we come to a complete stop, you are welcome to stand and take photos or get a better look. Just remember to please take your seat once we start moving again. And if you drop anything overboard, I cannot stop for those items. So if you do drop something, what I need you to do is to remember where you dropped it. And then when you get off the tram, come up front and let me know, and I'll be able to hopefully send somebody out to find that item for you. As we journey through Africa, we're going to be seeing a lot of different animals, a lot of different species. I'll be pointing out some of the different adaptations that they have, which could be their coat color, could be if they have horns or no horns. It could also be the color of their tongue. And I'll tell you how some of those different adaptations help them to survive in the wild. Now off to our right, find the tree in the corner here and look kind of behind that tree. You might catch a glimpse of a rhino standing back there. Now if you missed that rhino, there is one laying down. Find the tree towards the back of the enclosure there, and between us and that tree is the male East African black rhino laying down. You can see kind of the top of his back at the moment. Not very easy to spot. They do kind of blend in. We also have a deer front and center there next to the tree. Not one of our animals. That's just a local California mule deer visiting the black rhinos for the free buffet. You might see them in with the elephants as well if you go and visit the elephant enclosure. Generations of them have been born here in the park. You know, we'll check back with the black rhinos. If they're more visible when we make our way back up on that other path there, I'll stop and visit with them at that point where we have a little bit better view of them. As we make our way around the pond on the left, I want you to look in the water, on the island, and the shorelines for some of our pelicans. We have great white pelicans and Dalmatian pelicans that call this area home. This is also going to be your first view of the valley that we're going to travel all the way around. Dr. Charles Schroeder, the founder of the park, said animals need space to love and to run, to explore new areas, to climb, and do all the things that come naturally. And that's one of the things that makes our park here so special. We have these large exhibits where we're able to have many different animals of many different species living together, coexisting and interacting with one another, much like you would in the wild. Which is not something that you really get to see in a traditional zoo, so it is pretty special. Have you spotted the two ostrich off to our left? We have one walking on the dirt path next to the pond, also one right behind these palm trees. Now, ostrich is a flightless bird. I don't know about you, but I'm very happy that they're flightless. Could you imagine an 8-foot tall bird flying overhead? In my mind, I picture it being very messy. You park under some power lines and an 8-foot tall bird lands up there. I do also want to remind you have animal pictures up above your head, so at any time if you see one of our animals inside one of these enclosures that I did not see, you can use those pictures to help you figure out which animal it is that you're looking at. And off to the right, look way up at the top of the hills up there, you might spot a couple of the zebras standing way up there. Those are Grevy's zebra. They might almost look gray from here.
Allá arriba, arriba. Allá
What's
arriba.
easy to see in the zebra is that they're black and white, right?
El cerro allá
What's
arriba.
not so easy to see is that they are actually black with white stripes. Because underneath their black and white coat, their skin is black to prevent them from getting sunburned on their white stripes. Off to the right still, you're going to see on top of the rocks some of our vultures. These are the Western Repels vultures. If you see any that have a red head in there, those are going to be the lappet-faced vultures. And if you look behind the little pond in there, you'll see two of our Egyptian geese. And towards the back of the vehicle, you might spot a white bird with a red face and yellow bill. If you do, those are yellow-billed storks. Now, we're not going to spend too much time next to this enclosure because there is a young chicken there and we don't want to disturb it. Also on the right, you have some Somerang's gazelle.
Allá hay otro, mira.
And over on the left, we have a good mix of animals kind of hanging out in this area. We have three right next to us here, three different species. I'll start with the largest tan one there, standing there wagging its tail. That is one of our eland. The eland are the largest of the antelope. Underneath their necks, they have a flap of hair-covered skin hanging called a dewlap. That dewlap helps them to radiate heat out of their body when they're in a very hot environment, acting almost like a built-in air conditioner for them. Laying down in the dirt between us and that eland, we have some dark brown animals with swept-back horns. Those are the sable antelope. And the animal that the eland is looking at, that's standing at the feeder over there by the logs, kind of lavender in coloration with V-shaped horns, is one of our gemsbok. All three of these species, both the boys and the girls, have horns. That tells us they come from an environment where they have very few resources. The girls have to have horns also because they will probably have to fight each other over food and water because there's less of it to go around. Now, if you look out over the dirt road there, right on the edge of the grass, you'll see the rest of the sable antelope, the dark brown ones with the swept-back horns. Now, one of them actually looks black and white instead of brown and white. That's the adult male. That's his way of standing out to the ladies. It's kind of like he's got his tuxedo on, dressed to impress. And the problem with that is not only is he going to be standing out to the girls, he's also going to stand out to the predators. Because most of these animals see in shades of gray. When you see in shades of gray, black and white stands out the most. Now, the fact that he's still alive, even though predators won't be able to see him easily, makes him even more attractive to the ladies. Means he has good survival skills. Definitely something that those ladies are going to want to pass on to their babies, right?
Whether your dad's phone now.
You want to make sure those babies are able to survive.
My dad's phone.